Hello, everyone. What a perfect summer day here at the Norisring. We're absolutely psyched. It's the fourth race weekend, and we're ready to go racing today. In the heat, it's going to be a very hot day. And the man who is second in the championship is René Rast. He's already sitting in the car. He is so psyched here at the Norisring. 16 points behind Lukas Auer. And the fact here at the Norisring, as it's the German Monaco, there's René waving to us, the German Monaco. And the thing here is it's a city circuit, which makes it super exciting. And that also means it's so tight here that we actually have two starting groups. And René Rast is in the first starting group. So he is ready to go qualifying. And we are ready as well. So here, you commentators, do enjoy.
Thank you very much, Verena. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Norisring. The last time we met, we were in the wind and the rain at Zandvoort. We've moved about 700 kilometers southeast, and we are at the Norisring in the streets of Nuremberg. One of the absolute highlights of the DTM calendar, a circuit that is 2.162 kilometers around, 5 turns, 4 to the left and 1 to the right. We run in an anti-clockwise direction. Turn 1, always the scene of controversy. There was Arjun Maini, Marco Wittmann, Sheldon van der Linden 2022 getting together. There was also a fair amount of damage in 2023. That was Laren Heinrich and Ricardo Feller getting up close and personal. Getting around that first turn, avoiding the damage, avoiding the debris is always the first challenge, and what is always exciting racing here at the Norisring. The sun is shining, we're not expecting any rain, and we are getting ready for the qualifying session. Now, this is something a bit different to what we're used to. The cars are split into 2 groups, and that is in relation to how they finished free practices 1 and 2 yesterday. Group A will be going first, and there you can see on your screen the 12 drivers who will be taking part in the first qualifying session. Of course, with this fairly short circuit, giving the drivers enough space out on track to get a clear lap is very, very important, which is why we break the qualifying into those 2 groups. Then after Group A is finished, it will be Group B, and you can see the drivers there who will be taking part in that. Now, across those 2 groups, whichever driver is quickest, that driver will start on pole position, and the remainder of his group will line up behind him. Then the other group, the fastest driver of the other group, will start on the outside position on the front row, and the rest of their group will line up behind them. I hope that makes sense. There's a big crowd gathered here already. They're still pouring in through the turnstiles. It's going to be a thrilling day. Not so thrilling for the local hero from Wörth, just up the road, Marco Wittmann, because before we've even got going, he picked up a reprimand in free practice 1 yesterday. It means he's up to the 3 reprimands. He's got a 5-place grid drop. So wherever he finishes today in qualifying, he is going to start 5 places further back from that. And there are another 8 drivers who are also right on the edge of grid drop 2, and they have 2 reprimands. If a driver gets 3, they receive a 5-place grid drop in the next race. So the likes of Nicky Tim, Mirko Bortolotti, Luca Engstler, Ben Green, Mauro Engel, Ben Durr, Jordan Pepper and Tom Callender, all needing to watch their step. In the driver classification in the championship, it's a very healthy lead for that man there. There's a reason why he's smiling. It's because he leads René Rast by 16 points. But as we know in the DTM, this can turn around in a moment. Ayn Cheng-Gun and Zhu Gulan are tied in 3rd place, just 18 points back from Lukas Auer. So here this weekend, lots of changes could take place. Mauro Engel is 19 points back in 5th place, and the local man with that 5-place grid drop, Marco Wittmann, is 6th. Jack Aitken, he started on pole position in this race this time last year, is 7th. And the man who was really on form yesterday, Jordan Pepper, he's 8th in the championship. He is on the crest of a wave because he, along with Mirko Bortolotti and Luca Engstler, won for GRT Grasser last weekend at the Spa 24-hour race. And Jordan was still buzzing when we spoke to him on Friday. And he says, I need to get that DTM win now, and then I will feel truly satisfied. We are truly satisfied because the cars are coming out for the first part of this qualifying session. So time for me to introduce to you a voice from the past for one weekend only. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the DTM, Mr. Dave Richardson.
Thank you so much. It sounded like I was being risen from the dead. Yeah, it's great to be back here. Great to be back here at the Norisring, I have to say. Fantastic stuff. The man that's got all the work to do, in my opinion, in this quality session is Marco Wittmann, because, as you said, he has all the local support here. He comes from just down the road. And Marco Wittmann is always well tended to by fans here. And of course, as we look at Marco Bortolotti, he has got a lot to do, because wherever he qualifies, he's going back 5 places.
That's Wittmann who's going back 5 places.
That's what
Bortolotti,
I said.
sorry,
no,
yes.
I was referring to the fact that Marco
Okay.
Bortolotti's on the screen.
Yes, but Bortolotti is, though, one of the drivers who's on to 2 reprimands. So he is a driver who does need to be careful, because 1 reprimand and he will be back, as is the case with Nicky Tim, who won here last year in the 2nd race. And what a popular win that was. But Nicky Tim, another on those 2 reprimands. And here, around this tight circuit, it's very, very easy to get it wrong and to pick up a reprimand. So drivers needing to tread very, very carefully.
I think it's terribly, terribly sensible to split the qualifying into 2 groups, because it is a tight circuit, and inevitably, you made mention of the fact yesterday, and quite wise to do so, which surprised me, and that is that there are no track limits issues here, because the track limits are delineated by concrete walls or barriers. Therefore, doesn't seem to be too many people exceeding the track limits.
We call that self-regulated.
Yes. Let's ride on board with Marco Wittmann then, and Maro Engel, Marco Wittmann, Timo Glock. Timo called me over the course of last night as well. Luca Engstler, René Rast, Jules Gounon, Jordan Pepper. I mean, they're all out there for this qualifying. And it's short and sharp as well. You need to find space out there on this tight track to put your lap in, not be impeded by anybody else. And when it is such a short track, even with the reduced amount of cars we've got in qualifying A and qualifying B, it's still going to be very, very difficult to find the tarmac to put your own lap in without being impacted or affected by somebody else.
Yes, and what we've seen in previous qualifying sessions this year, and indeed last year, is cars coming out doing a warm-up lap, a installation lap, if you will, then coming in for the heat soak sequence, where they allow the heat from the tyres and heat from the brakes get to move into the tyres, and also to just have those tyres into the window as well. So we've seen a lot of cars coming out doing that formation lap now, then coming back in. But with these drivers, of course, as this is a temporary circuit, it's the streets of Nuremberg, it's public roads that are used all year round, so they haven't had an opportunity to practice here up until yesterday. For a lot of the drivers, or many of them, this is their first time around here, so gaining experience on this, the most unusual of tracks, is very, very important. So we may find that it's not quite as quiet for the first 10 minutes of quali as it often is. Maro Engel already out there, and he's decided to get out there, get the practice, find out where the bumpy bits are, find out where the grip is on the circuit, and to try and maybe get something on the board nice and early.
You made the point yesterday, a point well made, and that is because it is a street circuit, because these roads are in public use for 360 days of the year or thereabouts, that it's different from year to year. And what might have been the racing line and the perfect line last year, or the perfect trajectory around this circuit, may not be the case this year. And therefore, you sometimes see some of our drivers taking what we would consider to be an unorthodox line, perhaps. And that was very interesting to watch during the FP sessions yesterday. Let's see if similar is adopted today. Part of that strategy is to avoid the bumps and dips and divots that there are on the tarmac here. And I say tarmac, there are some elements of this where you come out of the Scholler S's, Brian, where you run off of tarmac and then onto concrete, which is the paved area. Now, it's kind of academic when the track conditions are dry. Altogether, as you well know, different story last year when it was wet.
Yes, and that transition of surface, completely different surfaces, can catch drivers out. Of course, what they need to do is extract as much out of this lap as possible to get as close to the wall as possible. Yesterday, we saw the entire field covered by just over 1.1 second. I can barely blink that quickly. That's how close this is. That is why the drivers need to find the maximum grip. They need to get get as close to the wall as possible without losing the wing mirror. I reckon we're going to lose a few of those over this weekend, and extract everything, because a 10th of a second could be the difference between pole and 10th place on the grid here.
Yeah, it is that close, isn't it? And certainly that was the case as we watched the FP sessions yesterday. We've got just under 14.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, which is for the cars which are Group A. I remind you, as Brian has suggested, that whoever goes quickest, then they will line up on that particular side of the grid, and the rest of the pack will line astern behind. So basically you've got Group A one side, Group B the other, when qualifying is all finished.
And for those who think, well, that's not very fair because those in Group A are going to be disadvantaged by a potentially slower track, well, tomorrow it's swapped. So Group B will go first tomorrow for race 2, just to keep it fair. To give you an idea of what we're looking at, well, yesterday in free practice 1, it was Max Powell who stole the fastest time from Jordan Pepper, and he properly did steal it because it was in the dying seconds of the session. The checkered flag had been out for some time, and Max Powell came out and took a fastest time of 49.468. Jordan Pepper put that to rights in FP2 at 48.857. That was the quickest time of the day yesterday. Expecting times to be quicker today. The weather is perfect. There's more rubber down on the track. To give you a benchmark, well, the qualifying record around here is still held by Liam Lawson, and that is a 48.622. It takes a little while to get used to saying a lap time without a 1 at the beginning, but yeah, 48.622, Liam Lawson back in 2021. Last year, the quickest time was Nicky Thiem in qualifying for race 2. That was a 48.758. So something around 48.6, 48.7 would be pretty spectacular. Jordan with the 48.8 yesterday was getting close.
Of course, for this Group A qualifying, which we're enjoying right now, the track is at its coldest relative to when the cars will be running. Is that going to be have an impact? Maro Engel, who we watch right now, is the driver that has set the fastest time thus far. We've still got 12 minutes to go. It's a 49.317. And I was about to say that there are some 9 cars that have not even made it out of the pit lane yet. That's changing as we speak. So all of a sudden, it will become quite busy. And therefore, for those drivers who have got to put their lap time in, all of a sudden it becomes very, very important. Ricardo Feller has done a personal best across all 3 sectors, but take too much notice of that, please don't, because that was his first real-timed lap. It was more of an installer, and Timo Glock has just done the same. 49.3 remains the quickest so far, Maro Engel. There's the local star, Marco Wittmann then, as Brian has said, driving for Schubert Motorsport, and that driver that lives literally just down the road. And Maro Engel then, quicker than anyone, Sector 1, Sector 2. Let's round it out with a purple Sector 3, and that's what we've got. We're edging closer to the 48s. It's a 49.149 from Maro Engel.
Different strategies from different drivers and different teams here. We saw it yesterday. One moment, please. Sorry about that. We saw it yesterday where Jordan Pepper was out for pretty well the entire free practice session, just going around, building the heat, getting faster and faster. A lot of drivers, as we've seen already, leaving it till late in the session, but Maro Engel adopting what we saw Kelvin van der Linde doing a lot last year, and that is getting out early, just staying out, keep going around, keep building the time. He's still purple again in Sector 1. Of course, tyres very much limited here in the DTM. They can't just come in and put fresh rubber on. So it is a gamble because he's taking life out of the tyres. Now, this track is a lot less hard wearing than some of the other circuits, so maybe tyre wear not so much of an issue, but he is potentially taking the best out of the tyres early on in the session when the track is maybe not as quick as it's going to be in, let's say, 10 minutes time.
I also think there's something about Norisring.
General, a reminder from my side, if later in the quali on the push laps you made a mistake and you want to cool down your tires, this should not be disturbing your performance. So if you need to do a cool down lap, that's fine.
Copy. Thank you. I was going to say that there is, whilst it will be a strategy from Maro Engel and maybe from some of the other drivers to run early, There's always something to be said for putting a banker lap in as well, because you don't know what's going to happen with the session. With you know, a dozen cars out there, incidents are potential and possible, and therefore sometimes it just pays to bank some laps, and that's what Mauro Engel has done, because he's in the pit lane right now, Brian, and he remains P1. Timo Glock is chasing, so too is Jordan Pepper right now.
The last car to come out of the pits for this particular bunch of running was Thierry Vermeulen. He was the last out of the pit lane, and that was just a couple of minutes ago. So he's the one who's left it latest. Now, I get the feeling that most of these cars will stay out for the next 9 minutes or so. But as you say already, Mauro Engel, who is quickest, is into the pit lane. So is he going to come out for the last 8.5 minutes or so? I think maybe he'll come out later on.
My guess is he'll see what others are doing, and he'll sit there, and until his 49.1 is threatened, potentially by Jordan Pepper, who's just done purple sector 1 and purple sector 2, then he's going to respond then. Let's see what Jordan Pepper can do. He's the first driver into the 48, a 48.947, having only done 7 laps. He goes to the top of the table.
So we stay on map 5, and then approaching T4, we go to map 1. And it's your decision when you start pushing. Whenever you feel that the tires are ready, make sure that we have a good gap to Miney in front.
So Marco Wittmann, who is currently in 11th out of the 12 runners, and will be having to think of the bigger picture with that 5-place grid drop. Having said that, he's now just jumped up to 5th place. But Jordan Pepper, he was the man on a mission yesterday. But for that, pesky Max Powell would have been quickest in both free practice sessions. He's back to the top again here at the moment, the 48.947. Get the feeling that is going to be eclipsed before too long. Mauro Engel in second. Luca Exler, another Lamborghini runners, and the Lamborghini is looking very rapid round here this year. Ricardo Feller, personal bests in Sector 1 and Sector 2. We got a purple from Arjun Maini in Sector 2 in the Mustang. He was looking very quick yesterday, Arjun Maini. Timo Glock is on the team radio.
I don't know what's going on with the engine, but I have 0 torque out of the low-speed stuff.
Ah, such a shame. Timo, he cannot catch a break this year.
Well, interesting, and you heard it there, live team radio, only in the DTM, where you hear it as it happens from our drivers. Jordan Pepper improving still further through Sector 2. Sector 1 was a tad forgettable for him. Maurice Schuring then with personal best Sector 1 and Sector 2. Jordan Pepper rounds out and doesn't need the Sector 1 because he's taken some more time out of his previous best time, 48.825. Then it is Arjun Maini with a very, very good P2. Then it's Vermeulen running P3. Mauro Engel has just been eclipsed by Timo Glock. So Mauro Engel now down to P5.
So whatever the issue is, or was, for Timo Glock, it's not affecting him too much. P4 at the moment. So remember, this wouldn't be 4th on the grid. This would be the 4th row, because we are qualifying for each row individually. And if the track is going to get faster and faster, just like Jordan Pepper is doing at the moment, he is really dialed in at the moment, then potentially pole position would come from the second group, and we would be looking at the outside row here. Jordan Pepper, 48.686. So he is quicker than he was yesterday already. 48.857 yesterday. So new quickest lap of the weekend so far for Jordan Pepper. Ricardo Feller in the Audi, 48.885. So getting on for 2/10 behind Jordan Pepper. René Rast, purple in Sector 1, the driver that sits second in the championship. He won at Zandvoort last time out. We'd love to do it here. He's up into P3 in the big Schubert Motorsport BMW, bouncing over the various bumps in this circuit. So he continues out. We've got less than 5.5 minutes remaining. All cars are back out on track, including Mauro Engel.
It always builds to a crescendo of fantastic qualifying, doesn't it? With 5 minutes remaining, Arjun Maini, he has gone a bit quicker through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Can Arjun Maini move from P2 to P1? It would be great to see, wouldn't it? Arjun Maini then heading towards breaking the timing beam right now, and he's 2 100ths down. Here comes Jordan Pepper.
P2.
That's pretty good going. So the Mustang HRT have been getting on top of that all season long. And I think everybody's been quite impressed with the progress they're making. Of course, one of 2 Mustangs this year joining the grid of the DTM. And Arjun Maini, it's like it's fired him up. He seems like a man utterly motivated, having got behind the wheel of that car this year. Jordan Pepper continues to improve, 48.491. So that is quicker than the qualifying record that was set by Liam Lawson back in 2021. That is a scorching pace for Jordan Pepper, 48.491. Over 0.2 of a second quicker than Arjun Maini. What can the rest of them do? Maro Engel is improving on his own best times, but he's down in 7th at the moment. Is this going to be improvement? Less than 4 minutes on the clock. Across the line he goes. Maro Engel about to stop the clock, and he's up to P3, so he's got a bit of pace in that Mercedes.
He, of course, led the early stages of this qualifying session, but proving just how competitive it is in the DTM. It all changed pretty rapidly, and everyone is within 0.6. I'm talking about all 12 drivers. 0.6 split from P1 to P12.
But Jordan Pepper, of that, has 0.2 over second place. So, by my maths, that's 0.4 separating the rest of the field. That's insanely close. Where has Jordan Pepper found that pace, though? He has been so quick for the whole of the free practice sessions, both of them yesterday, and somehow is over 0.2 quicker than Arjun Maini. That's spectacular.
And do you know what I think it is? It's such a confidence boost when you come here after the success he's had last weekend.
Yeah.
That has really lit his wick, if you will.
Yeah, it really has. And Luca Engstler, of course, was a winner. He's in 8th. Mirko Bordelot is the other in that team that won last weekend. But certainly Jordan Pepper seems to be the one who's got the momentum from that at the moment. So Engstler down in 8th, but Arjun Maini improving still. Sector 1, he was about 0.2 down on the best time, but a personal best and a best of anybody in Sector 2, personal best in Sector 3, so he's not able to improve at the moment if things remain as they are now. He would have been starting on the second row, not anymore, because the blue and gold Mercedes with Maro Engel at the wheel has relegated him. It is the battle of the blue and gold cars out on track, so Maro Engel moves up to the second row.
Take that, with 2 minutes left to run in this truly epic qualifying session. It's the Group A cars that we're watching. The DTM field has been split into 2 groups for qualifying, and we ride on board with Maro Engel. Here's Arjun Maini.
Come on, mate. We get him.
Motivational, like he needs any motivation. Thierry Vermeulen now quickest in Sector 1. Purple for him. Sector 2 is about 900ths off the quickest time, so this is going to be an improvement for Thierry Vermeulen if he can hold it all together through Sector 3. He's 4th at the moment. Here he comes out of turn 5 across the line and up into P2 for the Ferrari. Great job from Thierry Vermeulen in the Emil Frey Racing Ferrari. Look at him bouncing along the track. You can see how bumpy the surface is here with a minute remaining of this first part of qualifying.
Remember what I said about it all comes down to a crescendo at the end. Less than 60 seconds remaining. Still, lots and lots of drivers showing improvement trajectories. The time they're all targeting is a 48.491. Every single driver, bar 2, are in the 48. Extraordinary performance from our DTM stars. Jordan Pepper is improving still further. Whoa. Look at this, another purple sector, a personal best sector as well. Can he eclipse his 48.491? Here he takes a run for the line. 48.491 becomes 48.467.
That is fantastic stuff from Jordan Pepper. Now, well said that it's likely that pole position as he slides into turn 1. I said it's likely the pole position will come from Group 2 as the track gets faster, but such is the pace of Jordan Pepper. That time could be enough even for pole position. Really got some pace. The checkered flag is out, so drivers that are on a lap at the moment, that lap will still count. So we wait to see whether anyone is improving. No big improvements that I can see. So Thierry Vermeulen in that second place. That's a great job from him. He can certainly do a lot from the second row of the grid, and across the line he comes. So no improvement there. Can't see any other drivers improving either at the moment. So it's looking certainly nobody getting anywhere near Jordan Pepper's time, the 48.467. And it's going to be interesting to see whether they can get close to that in the second group, because he appears to be on a different level at the moment. On board with Ricardo Feller, he is on the 8th row.
Wow, what a session from our Group A drivers then. 48.467, the best time as we ride on board here. Jordan Pepper then, and great job done indeed.
Brilliant.
There it is. Looks resplendent, doesn't it? Looks like it's just come out of the showroom. Frankly, it hardly looks like he or it have broken a sweat. But he did, and it was consistent improvement little by little throughout the session.
Well, we said that a big win can give you a shot in the arm. Not just the driver, also the team, of course. GRT Grasser here in the DTM. They are TGI Team Lamborghini by GRT. Let's listen to Jordan Pepper on team radio. Brilliant job. So congratulations from the team. I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. Spoke to Jordan on Friday, and he looked like a confident, comfortable man. Didn't look like he was under any pressure at all, and was certainly very much on the crest of the wave after that win last weekend. So here we go then. The front row of the grid will have Jordan Pepper on it. Row 2, Thierry Vermeulen. Row 3, Mauro Engel, followed by Jules Gounon, Arjumani, Max Powell on the 6th row ahead of Luca Engstler, Ricardo Feller, René Rast, a long way back for him on the 9th row. Marco Wittmann, he's come man 10th, but he's going to be on the 12th row because Maurice Scheuring and Timo Glock will get promoted as a result of that grid drop for Marco Wittmann. He might not make it down onto the absolute back of the grid, but he's going to be somewhere close to that, courtesy of that grid drop. So there is the starting order for Group B. So this will be the second half of the cars. We've seen half of them so far. So the groups, as I mentioned at the start, determined by their times in free practice 1 and 2 yesterday. So Mirko Borgelotti, defending champion, along with Nicola Bart, Jack Aitken, Lucas Auer, Fabio Scherer, Tom Callender, Nicky Thiem, Jules Magnus, Ben Green, Ben Dur, Ian Chan Nguyen, and Fabio Scherer. They will be in that group. Right, so let's head back down to Verena, who's in the pit lane.
And I'm here with Thierry Vermeulen in this group. You're P2, so it looks really good. So hopefully it's going to stay that way. What did the track feel like? Good for you, obviously.
Yeah, it was good. I think there was a bit more grip than yesterday, which helps our car. But all in all, like, big thanks to the team. You know, this is a track we focused on a lot the last years. It's a track that didn't suit us the first years, but it shows that if you work hard in DTM and you keep trying, then now the third year we are more at the front. So I'm really happy with that. Of course, long race ahead, but yeah, positive day so far.
Absolutely. Hopefully you got the podium and maybe even a win. Who knows? We'll see later on.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Thierry, thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Verena. Thank you, Thierry. And that Ferrari has been looking quick, certainly with Ben Green and Jack Aitken as well at the wheel of the Emil Frey Racing Ferrari. They've been looking quick all the way through the free practice sessions and qualifying, but not as quick as that car there. Jordan Pepper, Jürgen Pfeffer from South Africa here in the German sunshine, showing a clean pair of heels around the streets of Nuremberg. The question is, can anybody get near that time in Group B?
Irritatingly, he reminded me yesterday in conversation that I first started talking about him in a Sirocco. That's years ago. Look at what he has achieved in his career. It's fantastic, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. Still looking for that first win in the DTM. Of course, this is his first full season. We saw him guesting last year at the Sachsenring, and it's fair to say he was bitten by the bug. This is a driver who always shines at the Norisring. Thomas Preining, the former champion from 2023, and Nicky Thiem, the Viking in the Abt Sportsline Lamborghini. He is always quick around here. Last year, Jack Aitken. But for the wet weather may well have taken a win. Of course, we had a thunderstorm halfway through the first race last year. That really livened things up. So the clock is reset back to 20 minutes. The other half of the grid now heading out on track. We will see how many drivers go out, do the installation lap, and then come in for the heat soak sequence, and how many will do what Maro Engel did and stay out for the full duration. I would just say the Come To You Aston Martins were really rapid yesterday. They were running at the top of the timesheets, and this is a great opportunity for them to shine. As we look at Jürgen Pfeffer posing for the cameras, and is that going to be a pole position? Is that going to be a front row? That is what they're looking for. 48.467. Remember those 5 numbers, because that is what everybody is aiming for. I think it's fair to say he has obliterated Liam Lawson's record of 48.622. So that is now relegated to history. Jordan Pepper, is that going to be the fastest qualifying time of this weekend? Well, there are another 23 drivers who have something to say about that.
Yes, I really rather think that there might be the opportunity for that to be usurped during the next 18.5 minutes, but we will see. You need all the stars to align and everything to be exactly right. You want track space. The temperature of the track will be rising incrementally as the day goes on, of course. Little bit more rubber has gone down on the track. I mean, all the things would point to the fact that in the qualifying session for this Group B cars should be marginally quicker. The track should be marginally quicker than it was for our Group A cars. But, as I say, it needs everything to align correctly.
Yes, and it involves the driver having to align correctly as well and get it as close to the wall. You can see there the pavement. They run up onto that concrete pavement on the left-hand side of your screen, coming out of the corner, and that really unsettles the car. But you can also see, particularly when they're up to speed, how much these cars are bouncing around. It really is a challenge as number 1 and number 2 walk back to the pits. That is Jordan Pepper and Thierry Vermeulen. Going for a well-earned break and just sharing notes right into the pit. So for the heat soak sequence, at the moment, everybody has peeled off. I'm just waiting to see what Ben Green does. So this is the moment where we sit and watch the grass grow. Is anybody staying out? No, Nicky Thiem has also come into the pit lane. So get the feeling Ben Green might be doing that. So we might be staring at an empty track for a few moments. It does mean that, yeah, Ben Green's also peeled off into the pits as well. So all cars back into the pits. So we'll bring on the Potter's wheel, have a little chat. Very narrow pit lane here, and it gives me the opportunity just to remind you, if you weren't with us yesterday, that the pit lane speed limit has been reduced for this event. Normally it's 50 kilometers an hour in the speed limit in the pit lane. For this event, it's been reduced down to 40 kilometers an hour. We did see a few incidents at Zandvoort in that narrow pit lane, and there were some health and safety issues. But actually, one of the main reasons they've taken that 10 kilometers an hour off the speed limit is it means that if a driver is in a battle for the lead and is in that pack, if he goes into the pits and then comes back out again, in theory, it will put him back into that same pack of cars to continue challenging, albeit a lap down. It means that you haven't got midfield runners and front runners and indeed back runners mixing with each other. If that's the theory, they've run it through the simulator. It's a great idea. So it'll be interesting to see whether that is the case. It also means that the penalty box is also 10 kilometers an hour slower, because you've only got one pit limiter button on these cars, so they have to set it to one or the other. But it means that when they come into the pits, it feels like walking pace.
It's really noticeable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really noticeable. But yes, everyone with the same, that reduction There is Lucas Harris. We go back into the pit lane with Farina once again.
And now I'm here with Ricardo, and you want to go this way? Maybe we can just do the walk. Sure, no problem. So you're 8th in the first group. Is it an advantage if you go in the first group or in the second? Is there any difference?
Well, not really. Maybe today the second group is a little advantage, but I think tomorrow it will be swapped, so it should be quite equal again. So yeah, nothing dramatic, I would say.
And the city circuit, the only city circuit in the calendar, what does it feel like? What's the main challenge here?
Well, there are many small challenges, and bringing a lap together is not so easy, actually, even though it's just 4 corners, but you need to kind of get into a good flow. But yeah, so far it's working well. The car feels really good. So we came into that flow, but we are still massively too slow. I guess we are just too slow on the straights.
All right, well, good luck. Still good luck for the race. It's going to be an interesting one. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you.
Thank you so much, Verena. And Ricardo's saying there, Brian, I want to pick up on this. It's a question of, you know, getting yourself into the rhythm and into the flow. And what are the restrictions? What are the limitations here? Darn great concrete walls and Armco barriers, in my opinion. Keeping the car out of those has got to be priority number 1.
You stole the words from my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes, the concrete barriers, keeping the car out of that. That is definitely the biggest challenge of all. It was last year that Jack Aitken said, this is the circuit where wing mirrors run to hide and track rods cower in fear. Never has a truer word been spoken. There's Nicky Tim. I don't know if he's doing warm-up exercises or whether he's visualizing the track. Whatever it is, it's worked last year. It worked in free practice yesterday. Is it going to work now? Nicky Team loves this track. His dad, Kurt, won here many years ago. They became the first ever father-son to win in DTM here at the Norisring. And he was certainly is a contender here as the rest of the cars come out onto the track. It is really the great leveler here at the Norisring. It really allows the drivers to shine. I wouldn't say that car performance is less important, because that's certainly not the case, but certainly a lot of skill is required for a lap where every last thousandth really counts here. So we're heading towards, can you believe it, the halfway point of the session. Not too long away, well, 12.5 minutes remaining. So the heat soak sequence has been done. Everybody's back on track, with the exception of Thomas Preining. So he's leaving it late. Jordan Pepper's like, had enough of the cameras. I'm going for a sit down and a nice cool drink. So into the camera following him into the GRT Grasser bus. You don't get any privacy here. He's like, I'm trying to go to the, yeah, whatever. So he is there in the bus, and he will be no doubt watching on to see what happens, whether anyone can beat that 48.467. As we look at the championship leader in the pink and red car, already flashing the lights. The Aston Martin is half a straightaway, but he's like, get out of my way, I'm going to be coming through. The other driver to have won 2 races this year, An Chang Nguyen, he has been a man reborn this year. They talk about getting the monkey off the back. Well, An Chang Nguyen had that first win at the season opener in Oschersleben, did it again at Zandvoort, and is very, very much a favourite to get 3 wins this year, if not more. And there is Ben Durr in one of the 2 Durr Motorsport McLarens.
Verena catching up with Ricardo Feller Ricardo seemed to intimate that a quicker time than a 48.467 should be possible with our Group B cars. That's not to say it is going to happen, but it should be possible. So within the next 11 minutes and 5 seconds, we could see Jordan Pepper's 48.467, which, may I add, is a record now, could be beaten. We will see. Is Thomas Preining going to be the man to do that? Well, at the moment, he's done a purple sector 1 and a purple sector 2. Lucas Auer is at the top of the chart for this group with a 50.680, and bear in mind it's being scored as the group as we speak, as Thomas Preining heads towards the timing line now. He goes quickest in this group. So the sector times are relative to this group, right?
Yes, absolutely. So everything resets coming into this. So the purple is not against the Group A runners, merely against the cars that are out on track at the moment. So I think we are going to certainly see the fastest time well into the 48s. The question is whether they can get it down to the 48.467. Well, I'd say who to keep an eye on. There's really need to list the ones to not keep an eye on because everybody's looking quick. Tom Callender brought out a red flag at the end of free practice yesterday, the youngest driver ever to race in DTM. Had a brush with the wall. The team have got the car back together. So that was about exploring the limits of this circuit. And Tom Callender, a hugely talented driver, the outgoing GT Masters champion. He'll learn from that one. He'll see how close he can get to the wall this time, leaving a fairly healthy gap this time around. Up ahead of him, there is Jack Aitken. They're all just building the heat at the moment. And when the tyres are into the window with the correct temperature, of course, no tyre warmers allowed in the DTM, then it'll be time for the push laps. Aychen Guyen to the top, 49.549.
Lucas Auer doing the chasing at the moment with a 49.938 for Lucas Auer, nephew, of course, of Gerhard Berger. Hello, friend. Hope you're well. I'm sure we'll be watching. Callender looking quick as well. It's Callender now to the top with a 49.415.
So the times are now starting to fall, but plenty still to come in the next 9 minutes. Aychen Guyen quick of anybody in Sector 1. Lucas Auer quickest of anybody in Sector 2. The track divided into 3 very, very short sectors. Sector 1 runs all the way to the exit of Turn 1. Sector 2 runs towards the entry to Turn 4. And then the final sector round to the start-finish line. If the screen goes green, it's a personal best. If the screen goes purple, it's the quickest of anybody. And you can see Tom Callender, once again, quickest of anybody in Sector 1. The quickest of anybody in Sector 2 is Lucas Auer. So Callender can just hold this one all together, tie it together. This will be a good finish. He goes up to the second row, 49.126. So still needs to find over half a second to get anywhere near Jordan Pepper's time. Aychen Guyen probably still building the temperature at the moment. Here's Thomas Preining once again. He's down on the 6th row as things stand. Behind him, Fabio Scherer in the other of the Mustangs. Now, Lucas Auer, the quickest of anybody in Sector 2. Callender continuing to improve. Across the line goes Lucas Auer, 49.022. We're getting closer to that time set by Jordan Pepper. Is this time from Tom Callender going to get us into the 48 for him in the Mercedes AMG? We're about to find out. Out across the line comes Tom Callender. He stops the clock at a 48.945. So quickest of anybody in this group at the moment, but still some way off Jordan Pepper's time.
Great job done by Tom Callender, particularly when he had his confidence just a little dented yesterday. Brian, you make that point and you made it very well, but he's picked himself up and dusted himself down and now has delivered a 48.945. Only 2 drivers in the 48s. They are Tom Callender and Green with a 48.981. So everyone getting closer. Aychen Guyen then just 4 1,000ths away from being into the 48s. And then cometh the man, cometh the hour. He is currently 4th fastest.
Puns brought to you by Mr. Dave Richardson. Purple in Sector 1 for Tom Callender. A personal best in Sector 2, 48.843. So we're getting closer, about 4/10 off the fastest time from the previous group. Here comes Thomas Preining once again. The time slips away very, very quickly here. So less than 6.5 minutes remaining in this, the second half of qualifying for the race that will take place later today, race 7 of this 16 race season. After tomorrow will be the halfway point of the season in this championship. Where is the year gone? Tom Callender again, purple in Sector 1. He keeps pumping in those times. He would have learned from Mauro Engel in the first group, Group A, who was out, just kept putting in the times and just building the heat. And maybe that's what works for the Mercedes AMG, just being out there for a long periods of time, 48.952. So he didn't improve in sectors 2 and 3. A quick glimpse into the eyes of the Viking there. Thomas Preining, 48.773. So Preining to the front row.
It is getting closer, isn't it? It's compelling stuff. This wonderful qualifying. We are watching the Group B cars now. I remind you, the fastest time from Group A, the fastest time came from Jordan Pepper at 48.467. That is the target that Aiken has as he crosses the line to go 6th fastest with a 48.892. The best we've seen so far is a 48.773 from Thomas Preining. And he's going quick again. Look at this. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. Hold on to your hats, your door mirrors, and any loose clothing you may have about yourself. As Thomas Preining breaks the timing beam now with a 48.585. So close.
So Jordan Pepper's time is still safe at the moment. Ben Green onto row 8 as things stand. Keep an eye on Nicky Team. He's done a personal best in sector 1. We know he loves the Norisring. He loves it around here. Last year he won the Spa 24-hour race. The following weekend he came and won here in the DTM. Jordan Pepper is looking to emulate that this weekend, but Nicky Team would like to make it 2 years running. If he can get somewhere near to Jordan Pepper's time, he will be in the best possible position to do that out across the line, because Nicky Team, once again, what's it going to be? 48.566. So still about a 10th off Jordan Pepper's time.
It is tantalizingly close. Tantalizingly close. And it was Ricardo Feller that seemed to intimate that the quickest time would come from Mirko Bortolotti, perhaps.
6 more laps, 6 more laps.
He is currently 6th fastest, as we heard him on team radio. So, Thomas Preining has gone purple through sector 1. Make that to green through sector 1 now, as someone has gone even quicker. As Nicky Team at the top with a 48.566. It's 48.467. We're targeting Scherer now with a purple sector 1.
So Fabio Scherer in the Mustang. He's got purple in sector 1, personal best in sector 2. Gilles Magnus had popped up into P3 just now. Great job from the Come To You Aston Martin. But let's see what Fabio Scherer could do. He crosses the line. This is going to be, in the last sector. Lost a load of time in the final sector because he was running at the back. He jumps up to the 9th row. He's still got time for a few more laps. But what can Fabio Scherer do in the Mustang? Jack Aitken once again across the line. So trying to improve on P6. He stays in P6. So it was a personal best in sector 1, but didn't gain in sectors 2 and 3. At the moment is Nicky Team in the Lamborghini prepared by Abt Sportsline. That is quickest in this group. But Jordan Pepper still the fastest overall. Certainly Lamborghini's looking to be the weapon of choice here at the moment around the Norisring. We stare into the eyes of the Viking. Can he get that time down anymore? Remember, as he gets close to the barrier, he's not just competing against the cars in this group. He needs to get ahead of Jordan Pepper's time to get that vital pole position. Jack Aitken, quickest of anybody in sector 2. Lucas Auer improving personal best in sector 1 and sector 2. So Preining into 2nd, Aitken up to 3rd, Lucas Auer into 4th. So Aitken continues out on his way, riding on board with Thomas Preining once again. Sector 1, sector 2, doesn't look like this is going to be an improvement.
And we are running out of time here. 1 3/4 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Is it going to be a last lap dash for cash from somebody to try and wrestle away that provisional P1 from Jordan Pepper? At the moment, no one's showing purple sectors. They're green sectors only, which I don't think would be enough to get by that 48.467 that was set in our Group A qualifying. And team remains P1 in this group, Group B, with a 48.566.
Nicky Team's teammate Mirko Bortolotti down on the 10th row at the moment, which would be pretty disastrous come the race this afternoon. He's got a little over a minute to do something about that. Meanwhile, Nicola Bart up to 3rd place, and to come to you, Aston Martin. So Aston Martin, 3rd and 6th. I get a feeling they like it here around the Norisring. Thomas Breining hasn't improved on this lap, so 49.166 sees him remaining in 2nd place. Looks like he may have taken the best out of those tyres. Same is the case for Jack Aitken, so he crosses the line. Ben Green is down on the 8th row at the moment. So less than 30 seconds remaining of this session. Doesn't look like anybody is going to get close to Jordan Pepper's time. Could it be that pole position, unusually, is going to come from Group A?
With 15 seconds remaining, I think you might be right. Hate saying it as much as I do, admitting that you could be correct, but I don't see it.
Bloody thing is not stopping. Anyway.
Did he say it sounds like it's not stopping? Have you got brake issues?
Maybe. Apologies for any colourful language you may have heard at the start of that broadcast, but yeah, I really don't see it. The checkered flag is out. No one is posting coloured sectors that would threaten Jordan Pepper's time. You know what that means then?
It means that Jordan Pepper from Group A is going to start the race this afternoon from pole position, which is a phenomenal thing for when you consider the track is getting quicker and quicker as these sessions go on. So from Group A, the 48.467 of Jordan Pepper is going to be enough for pole position. Starting alongside him, though, will be the winner from last year's race 2, Nicky Team, in the number 2 AB Sportsline car. Thomas Breining will start from the 2nd row ahead of Nicola Bart. What a great job in the come to you, Aston Martin. There is Jordan Pepper looking chilled, as indeed he has done since he arrived here earlier on this week, and he has done a phenomenal job. GRT Grasser have done an incredible job preparing the TGI Team Lamborghini by GRT. So Jordan Pepper will be the driver who starts on pole position for race 7 of the season this afternoon. There is Thomas Breining. Good job. Onto the 2nd row. Grid position, really important here. This circuit is nicknamed the Franconian Monaco for a reason, because overtaking is tricky. Let's listen to Nicky Team on Team Radio.
Nicky, very good job. 1st row at Norisring again. Very good job.
Thank you, team. Thank you.
So Nicky Team receiving the congratulations from his team. team. And he will jump out of the car and starting from the front row, of course, into that tricky turn 1.
He's having a bit of trouble with the window net here. You can see him getting a bit grumpy about this.
Can someone bring lunch to him? Right, let's have a look at the qualifying for Group B. Nicky Team was the quickest. He starts on the front row. Thomas Breining, row 2. Nicola Bart, good job there for Come To You Racing, row 3. Jack Aitken, he could do something from row 4 there. Championship leader Lucas Auer on row 5. Ahead of Gilles Magnus. Good job from him. Tom Callender certainly putting yesterday behind him. Row 7, good job. Ben Green also could do well from 8th. Then Einchen Good. Fabio Scherer looked like he was going to get somewhere near the front for a while, but couldn't quite hang it together. Ahead of defending champion Mirko Bortolotti down on the 11th row, and Ben Durr on the 12th. Let's head back down to the pits with Verena.
And I'm here with the pole setter. The South Africans seem to be on fire. Jordan Pepper, congratulations. What a phenomenal qualifying for you. And so hopefully now you can go and get them and get a win.
Yeah, I mean, good redemption from Zandvoort, starting on the best place possible, P1. Yeah, just super proud. I mean, we knew it was going to be difficult going up in Group 1, but yeah, I believed in the boys. I believed in the car they gave me today, and yeah, just left it all out there. And I did a lap that was really good on the hitting the walls once or twice, and I said, okay, I need to do a little bit more to secure the pole, and I'm just super happy for it. So I have to dedicate this pole to a little one who joined our family this week by surprise, and let's hope we can get a victory for him as well.
All right, crossing our fingers. Thank you so much, Jordan, and back to you.
Oh, well, that explains why he's looking so upbeat, I should think. So great stuff. Congratulations to Jordan Pepper's family there. You can see the starting order, very much provisional. It's a second ever pole position for Jordan Pepper, reminding us he got a pole at Zandvoort last time out. Nicky Team will start alongside him. Then Thierry Vermeulen and Thomas Preining. That's going to be an epic second row ahead of Mara Engel, Nicola Bart, Jules Gounon. He's had a fairly quiet weekend so far, but he will have Jack Aitken for company. Arjun Miney in the Mustang will have championship leader Lucas Au with him. Then Max Powell, Gilles Magnus, Luca Engsler, Tom Callender, Ricardo Feller down in 15th and 16th, Ben Green, Rene Rast. He's always good round here, but he's going to have to work hard from 17th ahead of Iron Schengen. Fabio Scherer and Maurice Schuring. That rounds out the top 20 on the grid. And then the final four, defending champion Mirko Bortolotti will have Timo Glock for company, and then bringing up the rear, Ben Durr and of course Marco Wittmann with that 5-place grid drop, adding insult to injury, will be starting absolutely stone last. It's going to feel like a long afternoon for Marco Wittmann.
He is definitely going to have a lot to do from there. That's for sure. As we look at the Ferrari 296 GT3 from Emil Frey Racing then, and Thierry Vermeulen. Some lovely super shots of these cars. The Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2, engineered of course by Abt Sportsline, took Nicky Team to P2. However, there was no doubting the man that would put it P1. The only doubt was he did it in Group A in the first session. A very, very good effort from Jordan Pepper, who threw that car around the Norisring to perfect effect.
And the bad news for everybody else is that Jordan Pepper goes in the second group tomorrow, when the track will be in theory faster. I can't remember the last time we've seen a driver do back-to-back wins. Well, he'll need to do one first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but certainly he has looked very dialed in the Grasser team, receiving the congratulations. The driver from South Africa, who currently lives in London, is celebrating at the moment. But of course, that is just part of the hard work. He's got a race to win this afternoon. Let's head back down to Verena in the pit lane.
And I've got the Viking here, Nicky Team, who won here last year, and today starting in P2. So congratulations, a great qualifying for you. And hopefully you're going to make it past this young man over there, and hopefully get your victory here again like last year.
Yeah, God damn it. It was not enough. It was not enough. It was an unbelievable lap, but yeah, unbelievable lap by Pepper. I have to give him that, because my lap was unbelievable on the edge of the seat and towards the wall. But yeah, super happy, obviously front row. So yeah, I can't wait for more. Now just survive turn one as always, and then enjoy the streets of Nuremberg.
And it's probably going to be a very exciting, tight race. That's for sure. We can look forward to that.
Yeah, it's always that one time a year. It's always super action-packed. So really good for the fans. Again, I think this year we'll beat the record again with people coming out. So yeah, thank you to that, and all the guys behind the screens, of course, very important. So I hope we'll bring on a good show.
We will. Thank you so much. You guys will. Back to you.
Thank you, Verena. Thank you, Nicky. And yes, thank you to everybody who's joining us from around the world. Well, that pole position for Jordan Pepper will have scored him 3 points, and it means he jumps up a position. He's now, well, he was in 8th. He's now tied for 6th in the points with Marco Wittmann. He gets 3 for pole position, 2 for second on the grid goes to Nicky Team, and 1 point for third. So Jordan Pepper moving up the points just through qualifying this morning and into that turn 1. So much can be won and lost. We saw at the video at the beginning of this program from years gone by, that getting around that turn 1 is the big challenge, and that's exactly what Nicky Team said, isn't it? Surviving that first turn is the challenge. Keeping Fabio Scherer, there he is, keeping it out of the wall. This is how close Fabio Scherer got. Well, there'll be some good scars down the side of that Mustang. That might be on that lap where he started off with the green sector. There might be a reason why he dropped back. We'll call those trophies on the wings of that car on the right-hand side.
Well, as you can see, it handled really rather differently after that little skirmish with the concrete. It's very, very unforgiving, but brilliantly entertaining for us.
So I hope you've enjoyed what has been a unique qualifying session from myself, Brian Oliver, Dave Richardson. We hand back down to Verena. We'll see you this afternoon for the race.
That was a hot qualifying, and yeah, the race is going to be even hotter, that's for sure. Looking forward to that. So see you in just a bit. Hold on tight. We're going to go racing here at the Norisring, and it's going to be exciting. See you then. Bye-bye.